What if your tuber crop stayed perfectly fresh, right in the ground, through the entire winter? No digging, no storage, no curing, no refrigeration. Just leave it and harvest when you are ready. The plant that does exactly this is called aluco, and once you see what it can do, you are going to wonder why you have never grown it. It outproduces sweet potatoes in cold climates, where sweet potatoes completely fail. It comes in colors so vivid, it looks almost impossible, and it has been feeding mountain communities in the Andes for 4,000 years. Let me show you everything about this remarkable plant. Aluco. Scientific name, Alucus tuberosus. Native to the high Andes of South America, Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, Colombia. It grows at altitudes of 8,000 to 13,000 feet, where very few other crops can survive at all. Aluco has been cultivated in the Andes for approximately 4,000 years. After potatoes and quinoa, aluco was the fourth most important crop of the entire Incan Empire. It fed mountain communities at extreme altitude, in conditions that would destroy most garden plants. The tubers are visually extraordinary. They come in bright yellow, vivid pink, deep orange, red, purple, white, and stunning striped combinations. Some look almost painted. The skin is smooth and waxy, slightly translucent in good light. They genuinely look like something from another world. The texture when cooked is completely unlike any tuber you have tasted before. Not mealy and dry, like overcooked potato. Not fibrous, like sweet potato. Aluco is smooth, almost silky, with a texture some people describe as similar to fresh pasta or perfectly cooked onions. It holds its shape beautifully. It does not fall apart. The flavor is mild, slightly nutty and earthy. It absorbs seasonings beautifully. You can use aluco anywhere you would use potatoes, but the texture makes every dish more interesting. And here is a detail most people do not know. The leaves of the aluco plant are also edible. Young leaves taste mild and slightly tangy, excellent in salads, or cooked as greens through summer. One plant, giving you both greens and tubers throughout the entire growing season. Today, aluco is still a daily staple across the Andean highlands. Markets in Peru and Bolivia sell aluco in dozens of varieties. Entire cuisines are built around it. But in North America, Europe, and most of the Western world, almost nobody has ever seen one, let alone grown one. And the reason why is genuinely fascinating. Here is what makes aluco genuinely revolutionary for gardeners in cold climates. Sweet potatoes need warm soil. They need a long growing season. And after harvest, they require a curing process, 7 to 10 days at 85 degrees with high humidity, to develop their sweetness and seal their skin. Without proper curing, they do not sweeten properly, and they rot in storage. This is why sweet potato production is geographically limited to warm southern states. The heat requirement, the season length, the curing infrastructure, all of it makes sweet potatoes genuinely difficult in cold northern climates. Aluco ignores all of this. It evolved at high altitude, in cold mountain conditions. It handles frost. The plants survive temperatures that would kill sweet potatoes. And the tubers, left in the ground after the first frost, stay perfectly preserved right where they are, in climates with winter snow cover. The snow actually insulates the tubers. You can leave aluco in the ground through November, December, even into January in many climates. Dig what you need when you need it. Leave the rest in the ground. The earth itself is your refrigerator. That is not just convenient. For a gardener in a cold climate, that is genuinely transformative. But wait, because here is what makes aluco even more interesting than the storage advantage. The growing process itself is unlike anything else in your garden, and understanding it is the key to getting a great harvest. Aluco is what botanists call a short-day plant. This is critical to understand. During the long days of summer, aluco grows lush leafy vines, up to 3 or 4 feet long, but does not form tubers yet. Tuberization, the actual formation of the underground harvest, does not begin until the days shorten in autumn. This means in September and October, as the days get shorter, aluco shifts all of its energy underground. The vines are using those long summer days to build a massive root system and abundant leaf growth. Then autumn arrives, and all of that stored energy gets directed into producing tubers. The result is extraordinary. One well-established Aluco plant can produce 15 to 25 pounds of tubers, clustered close to the surface, easy to harvest. Compare that to sweet potatoes, which produce 5 to 10 pounds per plant in their ideal warm conditions. Aluco in a cold climate genuinely outproduces sweet potatoes in the conditions sweet potatoes cannot even survive. Planting. Start tubers in spring after the last frost date for your area. Plant them 2 to 3 inches deep, 18 inches apart. Aluco spreads as a vine. Give it room to sprawl, or provide a trellis if you want it to climb. In cold climates, you can start tubers indoors 4 to 6 weeks before last frost to get a head start on the season. Soil and sun. Aluco prefers well-draining soil enriched with compost. Full sun gives the best production. It tolerates partial shade, but tuber yield drops. Water consistently through summer while the vines are building. Once autumn arrives and tuberization begins, ease off the water slightly. Harvest. After the first hard frost kills the vines, wait approximately 2 weeks. Then begin digging. The tubers cluster near the crown of the plant, mostly within the top 6 inches of soil. No deep digging needed. Wash them. Cook them immediately, or leave the rest in the ground, under a layer of mulch, and continue harvesting through winter as you need them. Now let's talk about nutrition and how to actually cook Aluco, because this is where it gets genuinely exciting for the kitchen. Nutritionally, Aluco is an excellent tuber crop. It is a good source of complex carbohydrates, vitamin C, calcium, potassium, and dietary fiber. The colored varieties, particularly purple and orange Aluco, contain significant antioxidants, including anthocyanins and carotenoids, the same beneficial compounds found in blueberries and carrots. One important honest note: some sources claim Aluco has dramatically higher protein than sweet potatoes. The truth is more nuanced. Fresh Aluco contains roughly 1 to 2% protein by fresh weight, which is actually comparable to potatoes and sweet potatoes. The nutritional advantage is not about protein. It is about the combination of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and the extraordinary growing conditions it thrives in, where other tubers cannot. In the kitchen, boil Aluco for 15 to 20 minutes. It stays firm. It does not turn to mush. Roast at 400 degrees. It develops a crispy outside and creamy inside. Add to soups and stews. It thickens the broth beautifully without disintegrating. Slice and pan-fry it. Pickle it. Aluco is outstanding pickled. In Peru and Bolivia, it is also traditionally dried and freeze-dried. Dried Aluco stores for years and rehydrates perfectly for cooking. So why has the Western world never heard of Aluco? The answer is genuinely interesting and more complicated than most people expect. The primary reason is plant quarantine law. Aluco is vegetatively propagated, meaning it spreads through tubers, not seeds. And Aluco tubers are known to carry latent viruses. These viruses do not seriously harm the plant itself, but strict international plant quarantine regulations in the United States, Canada, Australia, and most of Europe restrict the import of Aluco tubers to prevent the potential spread of those viruses to other crops. This is not a conspiracy. It is a genuine regulatory challenge. The same quarantine systems that protect American agriculture from devastating plant diseases also prevent Aluco from being freely imported and distributed. For decades, this made obtaining Aluco tubers in North America nearly impossible. The second reason is simply distance from its cultural home. Aluco is deeply embedded in Andean cuisine, but it has no presence in European culinary tradition, which is the primary influence on North American food culture. Unlike potatoes, which Spanish colonizers brought back to Europe and actively promoted, Aluco never found a champion who introduced it to the wider world. The situation is now changing. Small specialty nurseries and seed companies in North America have worked through the regulatory requirements to offer virus-tested clean Aluco tubers legally. Cultivariable, based in Washington State, is currently the most reliable North American source. The knowledge is spreading, gardener to gardener, exactly the way all great plant knowledge eventually does. Quick question before we wrap up. Had you ever heard of Aluco before this video? Drop yes or no in the comments right now. And if you're a cold climate gardener, I especially want to hear from you, because this plant was practically made for your garden. Aluco, 4,000 years of Andean cultivation. The fourth staple crop of the Incan Empire. Stunning colors that look almost painted. A silky, unique texture unlike any other tuber. Thrives in cold climates where sweet potatoes completely fail. Stores itself underground through winter without any infrastructure at all. It is not widely grown in the West because of genuine quarantine regulations and distance from its cultural home. Not because of suppression, just because of geography, law, and the slow pace of food culture change. But that is shifting right now, and you can be part of it. If this video showed you a plant worth growing, subscribe to Famine Plant Secrets. We uncover extraordinary forgotten plants every single week.